Welcome to this IELTS Listening Practice Test, brought to you by Spinta, your partner in English exam success. This test simulates the real IELTS listening experience with authentic question types, timing, and difficulty levels you'll encounter on exam day. You'll hear the audio only once, just like in the actual test, so stay focused and keep your pencil ready. Remember to read the questions carefully during the preparation time and transfer your answers accurately. This practice will help you build confidence, improve your listening skills, and familiarize yourself with the IELTS format.
Part 1. Now look at Part 1. You will hear a man calling a veterinary practice to book a home visit for his cat. You will now have some time to look at the questions.
Good morning, the pet practice, Clara speaking. How can I help?
Hello. I'm calling because my cat is unwell, and I'd like to arrange a home visit if possible.
I'm sorry to hear that. We do offer a home visit service. Can I take your name, please?
Yes, it's Alistair Finch.
Could you spell your surname for me?
Certainly. It's Finch.
Thank you, Mr. Finch. And what is your pet's name?
His name is Jasper.
Jasper. Okay. And could I have your address, please?
It's 53 Rosewood Avenue.
Rosewood. Got it. And can you tell me what the problem is with Jasper?
He's just very lethargic and seems to have a complete lack of appetite. He hasn't eaten anything all day.
I see. I've noted that down. Now, I should let you know that there is a standard call-out fee for a home visit, which is £90. That doesn't include the cost of any treatment.
£90. I understand. When could a vet come out?
I have a slot available this afternoon at 3 p.m. with Dr. Shaw. Would that be suitable?
Yes. 3 p.m. with Dr. Shaw would be perfect.
Excellent. Now, there are a couple of things you'll need to do before she arrives. Firstly, can you please make sure that Jasper is kept indoors so he's easy to find?
Keep him indoors. Will do.
And if you have his vaccination card or any previous medical history, could you please have that ready for the vet to look at?
His medical history. Yes, I can find that.
Great. Just so you are aware, if the vet prescribes any medication, the cost of that will be added to the bill, and payment is due at the time of the visit.
Payment for medication at the time. Understood.
And finally, should Jasper need any further tests or a follow-up appointment, that would need to take place here at the clinic, as we can't do those during a home visit.
Any follow-ups are at the clinic. That makes sense. Thank you, that's all clear.
Part 2. Now look at Part 2. You will hear the manager of a city farm giving a welcome talk to a group of visitors. You will now have some time to look at the questions.
Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Green Oak City Farm. My name is Harriet, and I'm the farm manager here. It's lovely to see so many new faces today. Before you set off to explore, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the farm and point out a few key areas on the plan in your leaflet. So we are currently standing at the entrance. The little wooden hut right here is our information desk, where you can pick up animal food and ask any questions. As we look at the plan, you'll see the large building directly in front of us is the main barn. This is where we house our larger animals, and we have a special rare breeds area at the back of it which is well worth a look. To the left of the main barn, you'll see the picnic area, and just beyond that is our small animals pen, where you can meet our rabbits and guinea pigs. It's very popular with our younger visitors. Now, if you look to the right of the main barn, you'll see a large body of water. That's our wildlife pond, and the small building next to it is the wildlife hide, where you can sit quietly and watch the birds. And finally, before you leave, please do visit our wonderful cafe and farm shop. They are located in the building just to the right of the main entrance as you came in. The farm has been here for about 20 years now. It's a real community project, built on land that was once a disused factory site. A team of dedicated volunteers cleared the land and built everything you see here today. Our main purpose is to give city residents, especially children, a chance to connect with nature and learn where their food comes from. Now for a few important rules. We love that you want to interact with our animals, but please, the most important rule is that you do not bring your own food for them. You can buy specially approved animal feed from the information desk, as human food can make our animals very ill. We have lots of activities going on. Our young farmer workshops are very popular. They are for children aged 5 to 10. And they give them a chance to get really hands-on and help with feeding the animals under supervision. You can book those at the information desk. As I mentioned, we have a fantastic farm shop. All the money we make from selling our fresh vegetables, eggs, and homemade jams is used to fund the farm's projects. So every penny you spend goes directly back into looking after our animals and gardens. We are always looking for more help. If you're interested in joining our team, the first step to becoming a volunteer is to have an informal chat with me or one of the senior staff. We can tell you more about what's involved. Right, that's all from me. Please enjoy your day at Green Oak City Farm.
Part 3. Now look at Part 3. You will hear two history students, Beatrice and Samuel, discussing their presentation on the printing press with their tutor, Dr. Wells. You will now have some time to look at the questions.
Okay, Beatrice, Samuel, let's look at your plan for the presentation on the social impact of the printing press. What was your initial challenge?
Well, it's such a huge topic. Our main problem at the start was finding a unique angle for our project. So many people have written about it, it was hard to find something new to say.
A common issue. Let's look at your structure. First, the historical background on Gutenberg.
Yes, we thought we should set the scene, but perhaps we've put too much in. We've decided we need to reduce the amount of detail and just give a brief overview.
A good decision. It's about context, not a full biography. What about the section on literacy rates?
We have the data, but it's just a lot of numbers. We think it would be much clearer if we add some visual aids like a graph showing the growth of literacy over time.
Excellent idea. Visuals are very important. Then you have the spread of the Reformation, which is a key impact.
This part feels too big at the moment. We thought we could focus on a single case study, maybe looking just at Martin Luther in Germany, to make it more manageable.
That's a very effective approach. A case study will bring it to life. And your section on the rise of the newspaper?
We've got some information from a few websites, but we're not sure how reliable they are. We've agreed we need to check the accuracy of the sources and find more academic references for this part.
Absolutely critical. And your conclusion?
It feels a bit vague. We just summarized the points. We've decided we need to add more specific examples in our final summary to reinforce our main arguments.
Good. So tell me, Beatrice, what was the most surprising thing you learned in your research?
For me, it was discovering how early printed books were made to look exactly like the old handwritten manuscripts. The printers even copied the same fonts and layouts. They weren't trying to create something new, but to replicate something familiar.
A fascinating point. Now, Samuel, you mentioned data on literacy rates. I've looked at the source you cited. The issue here is that it's not from a reliable academic source. It's from a general history website, which isn't rigorous enough for this level of study.
Right, we need to find a proper academic study. And for the Reformation section, as I said, I think the best way to focus it is to use Germany as a case study. It's the most famous example, and there's a lot of research on it.
I agree. That's a good plan. So, what is the very next thing you're going to do?
I think before we do any more research, we should map everything out. We need to create a detailed timeline of the key events we're going to discuss. That will give our presentation a really strong backbone.
An excellent idea. A timeline will provide a clear structure. Okay, get started on that.
Part 4. Now look at Part 4. You will hear a lecture on the environmental phenomenon known as the urban heat island effect. You will now have some time to look at the questions.
Good morning. In today's lecture on urban environments, we're going to focus on a well-documented phenomenon, the urban heat island effect. This term describes the fact that metropolitan areas are significantly warmer than the surrounding rural areas. This temperature difference can be as much as several degrees Celsius. So what causes this? There are several contributing factors. The first relates to the materials we use to build our cities. Dark surfaces, such as asphalt for roads and tar for roofs, have a low albedo. This means they absorb more of the sun's radiation, rather than reflecting it. This stored energy is then released as heat. The second major cause is the lack of vegetation. In a rural setting, trees and plants cool the air through a process called evapotranspiration. In cities where much of the ground is covered by buildings and roads, this natural cooling mechanism is largely absent. A third factor is the creation of waste heat. All the energy used to power our buildings for heating and cooling, to run our industries, and to fuel our vehicles eventually escapes into the atmosphere as heat, further warming the urban environment. The urban heat island effect is not constant throughout the day. It is most noticeable at night. During the day, both urban and rural areas absorb solar radiation. But after sunset, the built-up surfaces of the city continue to release the heat they have stored throughout the day, while rural areas cool down much faster. This phenomenon has several negative consequences. It leads to increased energy consumption, as residents and businesses use more air conditioning to keep cool. This creates a vicious cycle, as more energy use leads to more waste heat. It also exacerbates air pollution, as higher temperatures can speed up the formation of harmful ground-level ozone. And, critically, it can have a serious impact on public health, increasing the risk of heat-related illnesses, especially among vulnerable populations. So what can be done? Fortunately, there are a number of effective mitigation strategies. One of the most popular is the installation of, quote, green roofs. This involves covering rooftops with soil and plants. These green roofs cool buildings, reduce stormwater runoff, and create habitats for wildlife. Another effective strategy is the use of cool pavements. This involves using materials for roads and walkways that have a higher albedo, meaning they are more reflective. This simple change can significantly reduce surface temperatures. Ultimately, however, the most effective long-term solution requires careful urban planning. This includes strategically planting trees to provide shade, designing buildings for better airflow, and creating more green spaces and parks within our cities. By implementing these strategies, we can cool our cities and make them more sustainable and livable for the future.
And pencils down. You've survived another IELTS listening marathon. If your brain feels like it just ran a mental obstacle course, congratulations. That means you're doing it right. Want to torture yourself with more tests? We mean enhance your skills? Head to Spinta.org. That's Spinta.org, where we've got reading, writing, speaking practice, and vocabulary games that are actually fun. Yes, fun and IELTS in the same sentence. We're rebels like that. Thanks for listening with Spinta. Now go treat yourself to something nice. You've earned it. Spinta. Push forward. Achieve more.